For tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GVP Daily. And if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. It is Sunday, January 12th. The Packers fall to the Eagles 22-10 in a game where it seemed like the entire time there was very little to celebrate right from the get-go. The Packers turned the ball over on the very first play of the game, which, looking back, seems to be a missed call. But nonetheless, Keyshawn Nixon fumbles the opening kickoff, and from there, we were playing catch-up pretty much the entire time. Brandon McManus misses a 38-yard field goal. Jordan Love throws a pick right before halftime when it looked like maybe we would have scored, come away with some sort of points on that drive. Injuries killed us. Romeo Doubs went down with what looks like to be another concussion on a play in the red zone. Jaden Reed went down with a shoulder injury. Elton Jenkins also went down with a shoulder injury, and that one hurt us big. Travis Glover comes in, and after a few plays and a few holding calls that go against him, he gets pulled, and then Kadeem Telfort replaces him and unfortunately does not do that much better. So a tough game all around. I was pretty blindly optimistic heading into this one, but clearly that was the wrong way to go about this all week. I still think it was recovered by Keyshawn as far as starting off the game goes. From the first play, it seemed like, man, right away, we get the ball, we want to start fast, and boom, kind of reminds me of that Ty Montgomery game back in Los Angeles against the Rams, fumbling that kickoff return. I still think it was recovered by Keyshawn, but man, don't even let the refs get involved by just holding on to the ball, because if the refs get involved, they're going to somehow botch it at some point in the game, which it looks like they did. But Eagles go down and score right away off of that. And from there, like I just said earlier, playing catch up pretty much the entire way. It was a weird season, right? Jordan gets hurt in week 1. Malik keeps us in the race and helps lead us to 2 wins over some inferior teams. But when it comes to playing against the big boys, we never stood a chance. The Lions game in Ford Field was the closest that we came to sniffing a win, and we lost by a last-second field goal after not being able to stop them on the final drive. We're a tipped field goal away from going 0-6 in the division. That's just a tough look. The first Vikings game, you go down 28-0. You claw your way back. You end up losing by 2. The second Vikings game, you're down 20-3 at one point. And yeah, when it comes to playing the big boys, we just didn't have it. So tough game, tough season, really. It was a weird one. I of course, I love watching Packers football. It's one of my favorite things to do for sure. But a lot of the games this year seemed just kind of a little weird. We were just kind of waiting for our offense to start clicking. The turnovers were non-existent from our defense over the last few weeks. They played well today, for sure. They held us in that game. It could have been another 28-0 game against the Eagles today. But thankfully, they held them in check for pretty much the entire game. We just couldn't get out of our own way. You pair that with injuries through the entirety of the game, and you get the outcome that we got. 22-10, 10 offensive points. Just inexcusable. The offense didn't play well enough. Jordan Love didn't play well enough. Didn't seem like Matt LaFleur play called well enough. The 3rd and 3 on the final drive where we had a chance. You run the ball with your backup running back. I don't get that. And then the throw to Malik Heath, couldn't get the feet in bounds, and he turned it over, and at that point the game was pretty much over. So tough game today, right? Let's hop into the comment section here. I'm sure it will be a fun one, right? And as always, the Nicolet Law hotline is now live. You want to be a part of the show, give me a call on the Nicolet Law hotline. Number is on the screen, 319-242-2332. Would love to hear from you. You got a Packers question, you got a Packers comment. I'm sure you have a Packers complaint. Any of the all above, would love to hear from you. My man, Packers legends in the chat. I feel like the team starts way too slow. I'm a diehard Green Bay fan, but this sucks so bad, brother. Yep. Like I told you earlier, I was pretty blindly optimistic all week long. I was hoping and holding out hope that this weekend would be the weekend that we kind of had some consistency on the offensive side of the ball, and I was wrong. No Christian Watson hurt us for sure. Elton Jenkins going down early was an absolute killer. And then Travis Glover and Kadeem Telford coming in relief to Elton Jenkins was not good. The depth there was shown to be not as good as we had thought talking throughout the season. But, not starting fast. Did not help us, absolutely. Gus, my man, we had so many chances, bro. We had it in the bag. So many freaking mistakes. Till next year. Go, Pack, go. Till next year, my man. I appreciate you for hopping in. My man Victor over on Facebook. What's priority number one, in your opinion, this offseason? Well, over the last few weeks, it's kind of changed. I initially thought for the majority of the season it was pass rush, whether that's interior or exterior. And then once Jair went down, I thought it was cornerback. But these last few weeks, I think it's wide receiver. We just don't have a playmaker there. We don't have a guy that can go up and get the ball. We don't have a guy that we can rely on when it comes to third downs, when it comes to gotta-have-it plays. We just don't have a guy there. We've got 3 to 4 decent guys, and that's kind of all we got. Would love to see some big move made in the wide receiver room because we don't have a guy there in that room right now. So, unfortunate. My man Phil in the house. Sorry, I was just off of my 11-point loss. Nicolet Law, help out with the injuries today. Hey, your Nicolet Law is the go-to if you are injured, which I think we all are, right? I think we all are. Phil cannot convince me that the opening kickoff was not a helmet-to-helmet hit. Absolutely agree. Helmet to helmet, it looked like Keyshawn recovered it. I'm not sure what the explanation was behind that one. I thought we had that call in the bag. I thought it was going to be our ball. Matt LaFleur said just as much in the post-game presser. He didn't get any explanation either. So not entirely sure what happened there or what went down or what went through the refs' minds. But tough way to start, right? You hate to blame the refs. How about just holding on to the ball or not getting it into the refs' hands? I don't know. If you would have held on to the ball and or just taken the ball at the 30 every single time, you're more than likely going to come out net positive as opposed to returning the ball. I don't know. Tough way to start, Phil. Tough way to start. My man Rakeem's in the house. Shout out to you, Rakeem. Good to see you. Ryan, there were a ton of no calls in this game. There were, yes, I completely agree. I didn't think the refs were a huge part in this game. The defensive pass interference that wasn't called on the final play or the final offensive play of the game, that was pretty head scratching. The first play of the game that we were just talking about was head scratching. Yeah, it was just a tough game all around for us. But as coach would say, can't put yourself in the situation where you are leaving it up to the refs to decide the game or help decide the game. You got to overcome that stuff, and we didn't do that. So tough play to start, tough play to end. But for the majority of that game, we did not do as well as we should have or could have for pretty much the entire game. So, Ryan, thank you for hopping in, my man. Appreciate you. Brian, go Pack, go. We need a veteran wide receiver or playmaker. Lovecraft and need more cornerback and pass rusher. Yep. Receiver room is tough, right? I was hyping it up all off season, and it was pretty bad throughout the entire year. Romeo Dobbs misses a game with injury, and he misses another game from suspension. That's not good. Christian Watson misses a few games with injury. Dontavian Wicks has a pretty bad year compared to last year. Had the same amount of catches, but 166 less yards and quite a few drops. Jaden Reed had quite a few drops. All in all, that wide receiver room did not play well enough pretty much throughout the entire year, and they didn't show up today either. So Malik Heath had a chance to come down with one at the end of the game, couldn't get his feet down. We need some guys in that wide receiver room, and I don't know if we have a guy. Yeah, it's tough, right? Rakeem, I still think the offseason we need to make some blockbuster moves on offense and defense. We don't have to stack our team, but it would be nice to have a JJ or Adams. Absolutely. A wide receiver one would be nice. I know we talked about all offseason about how we don't need a wide receiver one, all this stuff. And I was, for the most part, in agreement with that. But through the stretch of the second half of the year, that proved to be wrong. We needed a guy who can, 1, catch the ball, 2, get open, and 3, stay on the field. So we don't have that guy right now. So appreciate you guys. All right, guys. That is going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as you know, the content never stops. I'm always posting anything and everything Packers related all day long. So be sure to follow me at GVP Daily on every social platform. And if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. I will be back and at it again tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And until then, I'll catch you guys later.